Hello everyone and welcome to this Groovy Jmeter tutorial series. In this particular tutorial, we will learn about the different data types in Groovy. So let's begin. In our previous tutorial, we learned that what are the variables, and we know that variables are used to store a value. Now these values can be of different data types. Now let's go to this testpan over here. Right click on this one, go to threads, add thread group. Now inside this one, go to add sampler, JSR223 sampler. Now, so there are different types of data in the Groovy. So one category is known as primitive data types. So in this particular category, the data types are integer, floating point, Boolean, and characters. So first one is integer. Integer means it can be a number, right? So you can define using byte, short, int, and long. So let me give you example over here. Simply type int, then x is the name of the variable, is equals to 10. And similarly, you say long y is equals to a large value, but at the end you need to use L. L means a long value over here. So let's simply go here and go to println, and here we'll print the values. So I will say x colon is basically using the dollar sign we can call this variable. Okay, and then we have y colon and the value of y. Okay, and now simply run this one, and let me run this one. Okay, so println, we know that it will print the value in the console. You see that the value of x and y has been printed over here. So this particular data type is belongs to a category where you need to store numbers. And when we talk about the floating point numbers, the floating point numbers are basically a decimal numbers, means 10.5. Okay, for example, if I remove this one from here and if I say float, okay, a is equals to 10.5, and at the end you need to provide f, means this is a floating or decimal value. And similarly, you go with the double, b is equals to, again it's a big decimal value, so 99, and here you don't need to provide the d or b at the end. Okay, similarly just println, and I will directly go with dollar $a and dollar $b. Okay, and now run this one and just go to the console over here. So you see that 10.5 and 20.99 is being printed over here. Okay, now the third thing is Boolean. So Boolean means that this particular variable can either store true or the false value. Okay, so for example, you need to define using the Boolean, then I say is past is equals to true, or simply you can go with the false value. Okay, so println, and I will, using the dollar sign, I will say is past, and run this one, and you see that the true got printed. Now here what I'm doing is that I'm intentionally providing a true value, but in the real-time scenarios what happens is that when we are working with the dynamic applications, so application might return true or false. So in that particular case we will be using a Boolean. Okay, now the fourth one, which is again a primitive, which is known as character. Okay, so you need to type char, then name of this variable, and here I will provide a single character. Okay, so if this is the case for you, you need to simply, in the single quotes, you need to provide that particular character. Okay, now run this one, and you see that the L will be printed over here. Okay, so basically sorry, you need to provide a dollar sign or to print the variable by default, if you go without go with this one, it consider it as a string, and that's why L got printed. Actually, the A should be printed because this L variable contains the value A over here. Okay. Now you see that A got printed over here successfully. Okay. Now we have object data types. So basically, Groovy provides powerful object data types that simplify scripting. For example, string. So you can define a string with the single quotes or the double quotes, and even use the triple quotes. So if you want to go with a simple string, you can either go with a single quotes or double quote. But when you need a multi-line strings, then you need to define in the triple quotes. Okay. So here, what you need to do is that string, and the name of string here, I say hello. Hello is the name of this variable. And here either you can go with a single quotes like testing, and let's print this one, and I will print hello. Okay, so I'm just passing this variable over here in the print statement, and on this one you'll see that testing got printed. Now if I change it to double quote here, it will still print it. Okay, so let's run this one and go back here. You see that testing got printed again over here, right? But if you want to go with the multi-line, then you need to provide this into a triple quote. Okay, so triple quote from start, and then triple quote at the end. And here I am saying, for example, let me put it down so that you can see that this is a multi-line. So here I'll say testing Groovy language. Okay, so now this is a multi-line. Now if I run this one, what happens is that this multi-line will be get printed over here, testing Groovy language, right? So in order to work with the multi-line string, you need to go with the triple quote. Now when we talk about the object data types, we have a list or array list. So array list is basically allows to add a multiple data types. Okay, so lists in Groovy are dynamic and allow multiple data types. Okay, so what I do is that let me remove this one, and I'll say def, and let me take an example of fruits, and here I will say my first fruit is apple, then I will say we have banana, then with the comma the third one is, for example, orange. Now this is the array list. Okay, and now in order to access these, because these are now more than one value, and accessing the value is based on the indexing. So the first value is on the 0, the second value is index 1, and the third value is index 2, 0, 1 and 2. So for example, if I want to access the first value, what I'll do is that simply here I will say, okay, println and fruits, and fruits you need to print the first. Okay, so if I run this one, you see that apple got printed over here. Now if I change it to 2, this time orange will get printed over here, right? You see that? And when you're working with the data types, now this is a array list, and if you want to add a value to this list, then how you can do it? Okay, so simply what you can do is that you say fruits, the name of this array list, then add, and whatever you want to add here. So I will say let's add mango. Okay, and now if I go here and print fruits, and now if I don't provide the specific index, it will print the complete array list. Okay, so if I run this one and go here, so you see that previously it printed apple, orange, and then a complete list with the mango which we got added. Okay, now another object based data is known as map or hash map. So maps are basically store key value pairs and are similar to the JSON objects. So for example, I will say, let me remove this one from here and let me add some data for the person. Okay. And inside this bracket, I say name colon, the name of person is testing, and for example, the age of that person is 30. Okay. Now here you see that we have a key pair combination, means that you have a key, this is the key and the value, this is the key and this is the value. Okay. Now in order to access the name from this particular one, what I need to do is that in the print and statement I will say person dot name. Okay. And let me remove this one from here and run this one. So you see that the testing got printed over here. And similarly, if I want to add something here, for example, I want to add a city, and city is Sydney, to this particular hash map. This again really simple. I will say person dot I want to add city, and city here is Sydney. Okay. And now if I go with this print statement, again, this print statement will print the complete hash map. Okay. And if I run this one, go back here. So you see that name testing age 30 and city Sydney. So that's how you can work with the hash map or this kind of a data. Now, the third category is basically known as dynamic typing in Groovy. Now, what does it mean? So, dynamic means that when we are using the def keyword, it will automatically detect the data type. Okay. So, let me go remove this one from here and here. And what I will do is that using this def keyword, so I say a is equals to 100. Now I want to see that either Groovy is automatically picking up that this is an integer value or not. Okay, so how I can identify this? Simply in the println, I'll go with this one. I say type of a and then dollar sign, and then in the curly brackets we need to type a dot get class with the capital C and small brackets. Okay, and now we are good to go. And just run this one and go here. You see that the type of A is basically an integer, and this proves that the Groovy is dynamic type language. Okay, and then finally the fourth category is that the strong versus weak typing. And let me give you example for this one. So let me go with this one, like a string, and a string a is equals to, let's provide a string over here. So if I provide with double quotes here and say hello, so this hello is basically a strong type because we are explicitly defining that this will be a string. This is a string, right? On the other hand, if I go with like def, okay, and def b is equals to hello, so this is a weak typing. This is strong because we are explicitly, and here it is using the def keyword, so this is a weak typing. Now let me summarize this particular tutorial, what we have learned over here. So basically we learned about different data types. There are four mainly different categories. First one is the primitive data types, where we learned about integer, floating point numbers, Boolean, character. Then the second category is that object data types, where we learned about string, list or the array list, map or the hash map. Then the third category is dynamic typing. Okay. And the fourth was last, which was strong versus weak typing. So now when you're working with the Groovy, you need to understand that when you're creating a variable, what should be the type of that particular variable. So as a tester, what we are doing a mistake is that we are hitting an API, for example, and API giving me some floating value. For example, it's giving me some decimal value, and we try to store that value in a float. But the value is quite big. For example, the value is like 29 dot like this. Now, if you use a float, then float might not work in this case. You need to go with the double because double stores a larger decimal value. Okay. So when you're working, you need to understand that you should be using the correct data type to store a value in a variable. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you like our content, then do like, comment, share, and subscribe our channel. Once again, thank you so much and see you in the next tutorial.